think Hayhurst were quite an important family in Nelson. Was there a Hayhurst shop? Can you remember?
Yes, it was James Hayhurst. He ran chemist shops in more than one in Nelson, as well as the camera shop. And he actually lived at Oaklands at Barrowford, and he kept those hackney horses with the four-wheeler wagons. He used to drive one of them, did James Hayhurst. And he also, as far as I remember, he used to belong. I think he belonged to the Hunt as well.
Right.
Yeah, and he had a brother called Robbie Hayhurst, and he used to do the Wall of Death on a motorbike.
What's that, Derek?
It's just a big, if you can imagine, a large cylinder
Yes.
going up to about 10 or 12 feet and a slope in the bottom going to it. Well, you set off on your motorbike and went up the slope and started going round and round.
Ah, good heavens. Can you remember anything about the camera shop?
Well, yes, because we used to use it. We used it there. Mr. Baker ran it in them days for them. Because maybe, although we're no good, not like you with your camera, but we used to do our own developing and printing,
Yeah.
and we got the materials from there.
Oh, so you did photography, a little bit of photography at home?
Yes, yeah,
All right.
yeah. We did.
Interesting.
And then when their shop closed down there, as regards a proper camera shop, they moved into the Arndale. They was up on the veranda there.
I think I remember that.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. When I was in Nelson, yes.
Yeah.
Were they only a camera shop, or did they take photographs of activities in Nelson as well?
They did photo now. Robbie Hayhurst, who finished up living at the mill at Barley, there, well, he was well into photography. He photographed all sorts of buildings and that. A lot of his work is in Lancashire Archives.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I have been into his, where you'll know the mill, won't you, Narrogates, Barley.
Yes.
Yeah, well, if you was walking on the road from Barley towards Roughly, when you looked at the mill, the middle floor was where he had his all his set up. He had a model railway in there, and that's how I come to go there with this friend of mine called Tom Parker. And he had a model railway in there, as well as he had a massive library, one sort or another. Each little caboose in a corner would be dedicated to something like the army or something else. Would each section in there, and that's what he did. And even when I was coming to work at Edge End, I'd see him at his desk doing some sort of copying, and he'd also many times be walking on the road, and I'd ride alongside him and would be chatting to him.
So originally you went there to sort of share the railway hobby.
That's right, that's how we first went there,
Yeah.
with railway job. But he was really meticulous, he was Robbie Hayhurst.
Yeah, sounds like a very orderly mind, doesn't it? With all these bays of things. Yeah.
Everything had to be just right. He had a complete replica of Valleyfield Station.
Good heavens.
Yeah, on there. Yeah.
That he'd built.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what, wood or?
Well, all sorts of materials. You say it was he was right down to minute details. Yeah. It was so much so that the stuff that Tom had, the bloke that took me there, he built in what they call coarse scale and not fine scale, and he weren't interested in any of that.
The detail,
no, he weren't interested in any of that.
And did he live in the mill as well?
Yes, yeah.
Part of the mill was his home?
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. There were three stories in that mill. Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I don't know whether his wife's still there or not. She was part of the chemist department when they had the chemist shops as well as the camera shop.
I didn't know that.
Did you not?
Hayhurst.
Ah, well, his father was the chemist.